We're back again with another book review, and once again, it's another book by Judith Orloff, MD psychiatrist. This one is Second Sight, and this book has an introduction to the reflections on Judith Orloff's career and how she came into her intuition and overcoming the societal constructs that's been put upon her. So I'm going to read the contents and I'm going to share the introduction, because in and of itself, the introduction says a lot. The contents are the beginning of wisdom within the part 1 of initiations, validation of the voice, loss of innocence, healing the split, mixing medicine, female lineage. And in part 2, there's preparing to see, there's the alchemy of dreams, there's intuitive experiences in everyday life, the well-balanced intuitive, the spiritual path of intuition, and then there's not honoring the gift. So she goes, as a physician, I combine intuition with mainstream medicine, a mix still considered hearsay by some statistics, equals reality-oriented physicians. This is my life passion. I listen and diagnose with my intellect and my intuition, a potent inner wisdom that goes beyond the linear mind. I experience intuition as a flash of insight, a gut feeling, a hunch, or a dream. I use my intuitive abilities to complement hard science, my intuition with conventional best of both worlds. Listening to intuition is sacred to me, and my intuitive voice is loud and clear and unafraid. It hasn't always been so. As a child, I had dreams and intuitions that came true. I was forbidden to speak about them. I grew up ashamed of my abilities, convinced there was something wrong with me. I yearned to free my intuitive voice and help others do the same. The intellect at the expense of intuition. Ultimately, my passion for writing this book carried me through because I believed and continue to believe that favoring science over intuition is a deplorable disservice to patients. True healing embodies these dual forms of knowledge, a huge gift, the intuitive closet, refuge in anonymity, wary of being condemned by a hyper-cerebral world that has forgotten how to see. I had to take a stand on the value of intuition in healing. Listening to intuition could help others heal. Society with regard to integrating intuition from the way we manage our health to our finances and business opportunities to our relationships. Usefulness of listening to our inner voice. Minds and hearts are opening. Acupuncture or homeopathy are holistic therapies, from yoga can relieve insomnia to how Qigong can be an adjunct to cancer. Our brains are wired for spiritual experiences. I passionately subscribe to sleep on it as a school of decision making. Insight to be gained by tapping the wild creativity of dreams in the subconscious mind. I was the first intuitive psychiatrist invited to speak at the American Psychiatric Association convention, where the big wigs of our profession go, the most conservative of the conservative. It is critical that healers develop confidence in their intuition and use it in service of others. Intuition is our universal legacy, a language that everyone can learn. I still encounter resistance to intuition among some mainstream physicians. My style, though, isn't to try to convince anyone of anything. I found that what makes sense to skeptics is simply stating how intuition can be applied clinically. For instance, teaching patients to listen to their gut feeling to choose healthy relationships. They become more receptive to alternatives as they encounter the limitations of conventional treatments. Crisis can be a potent awakener. Wait for one to open up the power of intuitive healing. Each and every day, my own understanding of intuition continues to evolve. I'm a lifelong student of intuition. My intention is to use intuition for health and healing. I was most dazzled by the high-voltage intuitive moments, the big-time synchronicities, the déjà vus and premonitions. Tuning in and knowing what to say to a friend in pain, how to handle a difficult situation at work. These heartfelt interactions are extremely meaningful. I become a safe harbor for others to share similar experiences. They were afraid of being criticized, mocked, or being called illogical or crazy. This book provides a roadmap for everyone who is drawn to intuition and describes how to make it a seamless, inspired part of your life. Initiations are a form of intuitive within the child, and the teachings, techniques to develop intuition and dreams and a connection with your own spiritual path is essential, deepening insight and compassion towards others. No matter what I'm going through, my intuition and my spiritual connection have strengthened me. Follow your intuitive voice. You can't go wrong. It's the best friend you'll ever have. Intuition is about empowerment, not having to conform to someone else's notion of who you should be. It's about becoming attuned to yourself and all the grace that comes from that. It is a beautiful thing, empaths, to feel validated in the fact that you have a certain knowledge, that you have attempted to communicate with members of your family, your networks, and your community. And now that you have a foundation in which you can go to, in which you can reference, and you can share with others, recognize, as I've been saying from the beginning of this channel, and as we see, I'm not just pulling this information from out of the air. One, my intuition has led me to it, and two, here are people who have done the research and have those accreditations to their name to back up what is integral and essential for us to maintain. We must honor the fact that our gut is speaking to us and has a message for us in concern to what we should do or not do, where we should go and not go, what we should eat and not eat, how we should be and not be. It's important that we listen to it and that we're not afraid of it. It is also important to understand that it's not about perfection. That it's not that in listening to your intuition that it is absolutely foolproof in every single thing. And I say that especially in the beginning when you are putting it into practice. Because for so many years of denying your intuition, you are not clear on what it is. And so as the book is called Second Sight, and as we've heard the term third eye, in essence, it is your first sight. It is your first way to let you know that something's off or not off. Because your eyes are not always capable of visually taking in truth. There are times where you have to feel the truth at a visceral level in order to know that it is true. And that's why I say I don't need to quantify things in order to know that they are true. And as I keep reiterating, I do not need to advocate for the truth in any way. It is not contingent upon our belief. It is, it always has been, and will continue to be. And we know that your intuition empowers you. And as we grow in the collective and as we do our work, that is in the self-healing, is in the knowing of thyself that heals thyself, we are able to show up in the world clear, conscious of what we should be doing and not doing and how we should be doing those things. And I want to leave this in a reminder for those that might have had this experience as well. Perhaps you have been in an experience where you have not been a person that has been able to hold space for people throughout your life, because holding space for people has given you and brought you great pain. I recognize that in my family as a whole, I think that we are a family of healers, because what I've observed in my family is that different one-on-ones in our family draw and attract people to tell us things that they don't normally tell other people, and to want to reach out to us in a way of connection and relation. And so what really happens is that if you show up in the world and you don't feel that you've done your work on a daily basis in order to hold a space for people, then this is where we see how we end up in a world that seemingly is careless, that is enacting from its place of radical individualism, and we're not helping the collective, each one teach one. I was afraid of holding space for people because I did not know what that meant. And I've had to experience some very embarrassing moments in not wanting to hold space for people. And I did not understand that holding space for people could be such a beautiful healing experience for both parties, or all parties involved, willing to be that transparent. And holding space starts with holding space for yourself, because I was not able to hold space for people because I was not able to hold space for myself. I denied myself the right to show up in the world as my natural self. I allowed myself to be fed the story that I am less than and that I am incapable. And so with all of that in the know and all of that I recognize now, I see that this is the time that I'm ready and I'm prepared to be as I know, as I say in tradition. Because I have come born with and I have everything that I need in order to move forward in the knowledge, in the knowing of thyself that leads to healing thyself. So empaths, powerful beings, remember, embrace your nature. It has the roots to heal you.